What was that? Hello everyone, and I really want to bash my wall in because my fucking neighbor is listening to loud music again. I can't even talk when he's listening to that song. I feel like I can't talk. Anyway, welcome to information. Okay. Now this is a Russian game. It's called Everlasting Summer. I have played this before. I have gotten a lot of different endings, but it's been long since I played this. Now this has different endings and different characters. You can end up with 5 girls or one of 5 girls, but you will meet them all. Yeah, one of them is actually Hatsune Miku, which I will try to get, but I don't remember how to get it. That owl was scary. And it doesn't say any... Yeah, all these are good. Oh, no. No. Don't give me any spoilers here. So I've gotten Alyssa good, I've gotten Alyssa bad, I have gotten Liliana good, I've gotten Liliana bad. You can also have your own ending, which is Semyon good and Semyon bad. Semyon is your name. But yeah, we're gonna try to get together with Miku. I don't know how though, it's different endings here. And Miku is the only one that doesn't have a good or a bad ending, I think. So let's start. This is a text game though, so I'm gonna have to read. I was having that dream once again. Whoa. Okay. Do not do that. I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain of gates, half opened, as if inviting me somewhere, with 2 frozen stone pioneers standing close by, and also that strange girl who keeps asking me, will you come with me? Come? But where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would certainly have been scared. Well, what else would one expect to feel? But this is just a dream, the same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening, something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real as things in my own flat, I could open the gates, hear the hinge creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh cool air and shiver from the cold. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that, but what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here is just like on the other side of the cracked screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something, the girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I was called a tittle, but the dot over a J was called a superscript dot. Was that it? Nice letters, as if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because even if I'm having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyway, I got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see them Magellanic clouds. I don't know what that is. As you see, it is Russian. And I can see the owl there. I couldn't see what I said though. As if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are the small things that catch your attention. An unnatural color of grass, impossible curves of straight lines. or your own distorted reflection, while the real danger, which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems trivial. It's natural since here you cannot die. I know it for sure, I've done it hundreds of times. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? I should ask the girl. She's a local. She should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. One strange bird it is, yes. Sure. Though, it doesn't matter. Will you come with me? And every time I have to answer. It's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end and I will never wake up. Now we got a chance. Now this story changes from your actual choices. Now we don't really see this girl, and of course that is scary. And if you said yes, I'll come with you. Maybe you die in your dream. Maybe that's how you die in your dream. You say yes to come with someone you can't really see. But if I say no, I'll stay here. Does that mean I'll wake up? Or does that mean I never wake up because I have to follow this girl to wake up? But I'm gonna say yes, I'll come with you. Every time it's so hard to decide on the answer. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't. It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. So this is actually a Russian game, but of course it's translated to English. Oh, it's a keyboard. Looks just like mine. I have O though because I'm Norwegian, so I have the 3 extra letters that we have in Norway in the Norwegian alphabet. What is that? That's some pink shit. What are we looking at? What? Oh, is that Lazy Town? What the fuck? Steph from Lazy Town? The computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. Well, I mean, it's a computer screen. Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer. As if in our relationship the screen wasn't an instrument, it was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textilite. Are you a piece of plastic? Are you Barbie girl? There is some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. Me too, buddy. Me too. Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time. Rarely ICQ or Jabber. And forums even more rarely. Is Jabber a thing though? Because now I feel like Simulacra is a thing. Like for reals, because that's we have Jabber in Simulacra. People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist. All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug which started living a life of its own. What is that? What is that? It's a lamp, maybe. Yeah, it's a lamp. It's a very old lamp, actually. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy, and a psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnoses and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin. The light is on. Did you turn it on? Why would you turn it on? You didn't turn it on. Oh, we're dying. A small apartment with no signs of repair or any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the grey megalopolis running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. Are we dying? I think we're dying. Ah, we're dead. Well, of course it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school and finished it like all the others. I was accepted at a university where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working out quite well. Sometimes I was even getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. I was looping over and over in monotonous circles. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. I haven't seen that movie, I think. I have seen lots of movies. I don't remember Groundhog Day, but I remember that I have seen some movies with the Groundhog Day in it. So maybe it's called Groundhog. I don't know. It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself, the same vicious spiral. A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. Are we dead? Are we going to hell? For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs, sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder, really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly ever leave my home, and my communication with other people almost exclusively consists of online correspondence with the anonymous, who have no real name, no gender, no age. So in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of this time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale without doomsday-related visions. Maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me and will become a contemporary classic of modern literature. Or I will write one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw. Programming, got bored. Foreign languages, takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but still, I never would have called myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and a grandmaster of lame internet jokes. If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person and a richer person too. But I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. You're depressed, is that it? Today was another typical day of a typical failure's typical life. There's a lot of typical. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion. Frankly speaking, I really didn't want to. What is the point? The time I spent with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of the few with whom I kept in touch other than through the internet. Is it Steph? Is it Steph from Funky Town? It was Funky Town it was called, right? No, Lazy Town. Funky Town, really? I don't know why, but I think I thought about Uptown Funk. I don't know why. Is that us? It's PewDiePie! A frosty evening. Bus stop. Waiting. I never liked winter. I mean neither, but I'm born in winter, so. Though hot summer is not my season either. Exactly! It's just that I see no reason to point out any particular time of the year. It doesn't matter much what the weather is outside when you stay at home 24/7. Well, kinda depends a little bit, because if it's like now, gray and it just rain and stuff, that just makes the motivation drop, you know? Even though you're just sitting inside 24/7. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundred rubles for a taxi. The idea of just returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. Such a thought that you could bring into existence, give a shape, turn into an idea, and put into practice. Maybe I could start my own business, but where would I get the money from? Or maybe I could go back to working in an office. No, no way. Maybe I should try freelancing. But what skills do I have, and who would want me after all? You can't think like that, buddy. I suddenly remember my childhood, or rather my teen years, the time when I was 15 to 17 years old. Why exactly those years? No idea. I guess it's because back then everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I always eagerly looked forward to the weekend. Then I could get some rest and have time for the things I liked: computer, football, going out with friends. And then at the beginning of next week, I'd take up my studies again. Back then, there were no such worrying questions like why, who needs it, what will change if I do it, or what will not change. A simple lifestyle. So casual for any normal person and so odd to myself today. That careless childhood age, it was also then that I met my first love. Her appearance, her personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Steph! Affection, tenderness, the desire to care for her and to protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today, I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation. What on earth to discuss and how to attract her? Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time, but where could I meet one anyway? Go to a cosplay convention. The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, though, I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. There we are. White hair. Whoa! The fire. It's fire on this bus. Streetlights pass me by as if their cold light sparks inside of me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken them. Because those feelings, they have been living in me for a long time, slumbering and waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars passing by through the fogged up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little worlds. Why would they care about mine? They probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. I mean, if you see cars passing by and it seems like they have a lot to do, I don't think they really think it's a simple life. But you can't know for sure since all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's action can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you will only see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched this light show, and somehow I got terribly sleepy. Never fall asleep on the bus. That is wrong. You can't fall asleep on the bus. You will end up somewhere you can't get back from. My eyes closed just for a moment, and then I don't know if you can hear the music. I can't though. A little bit. Where's my phone? Oh, it's over there. Never mind. Oh, hi. That is really nice. There she is. Okay. Or Mookie in Russian. But there's also someone else there. It's a cat lady, it looked like. So yeah, it's a lot of panties in this game apparently. Day 1. Bright daylight struck my eyes. At first I didn't pay attention, as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Damn, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there was no door. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn-out Leas. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back of one of the bus seats. It's clear. Either I'm still alive, or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot. And then what? Did they put me onto another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked, tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers, summer. But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably, as if it was going to explode. Slowly I began to remember. A long road running off into the distance. Forests, plains, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it? And then, a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She softly whispered something into my ear, then a gap again. What did she whisper? And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Was she just a dream? I mean, I saw 5 girls and one cat girl, I guess? I don't know. For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calm me down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And the best place to look for her is away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran in the direction from which the bus had probably came. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind. Thoughts become clearer, and it gets a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I am neither dreaming nor dead. Then how is this possible? I mean, I guess this is like a story that he makes up in his mind because he's mental? Or maybe he just... I don't know. Because mental people can make their own reality and things happen in their reality. They can still feel pain and they do whatever they want to do in their own world. But their world looks weird to everyone else that can witness you in the actual world. A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. That exact same road from my dream. I must be very far away from home. And it's not just that, it was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer is usually like this, green and hot. But here, everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of a Russian landscape artists of the 19th century. The grass is just too lush. The bushes are not like what bushes should be. They're so thick that you can't see anything through them. Isn't that how bushes are, though? Like treetops, honestly. And the trees themselves, the forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance onto the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. It was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Could they have power lines even in hell? Wait, what? Roasting sinners over hot coals? Roasting sinners over hot coals. That's so last century. Yes, totally. I must have reached a point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally try to understand what is going on. And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course it was scary, but I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or the woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. So, see anything familiar here? I missed the owl though. I should carefully scout the area. Sauvignac means owlet. Awesome! A brick wall and its gates crowned with the Sauvignac sign. Statues of pioneers standing on either side, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route number 4110 right over there. And this is like danger kids are playing, I guess, so drive carefully, I think. I mean, that's what it means in Norway, but we have it, the sign doesn't look the same. Maybe this is like the Russian version, I guess. And sorry if I say something completely wrong. I don't know Russian, so if I totally mispronounce something or butcher it completely, I'm sorry. The trip's taken a bit too long today, I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sauvignac. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly. From alien abduction to lethargic sleep from a hallucination to a time and space shift. None was worse than any other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me, I could try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contact list. But instead of signal shrink bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such a remote place. Though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dirt on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint, and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Yeah, exactly the kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself sporadically, because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curb beside the bus and started to wait. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much, there were so many things that I had no time for yet. I was overwhelmed by the idea this was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? Tears were burning in my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping and just lay quietly, sobbing occasionally. After a while I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, as if terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? Doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyway, for now it seems there's no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course the blood was still pounding in my temples and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now there is nothing I can really change anyway. So, no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it will only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there is really no point in making guesses. In any case, I won't learn anything by longing about here. The camp, if it is really a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there, and hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them. Hi, wearing a pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century? And then again, a girl here? I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place. Far from this bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Just running free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies. Running, become a pulsar ray, and turning into vestigial radiation, running to face the unknown. Run no matter where, as long as it is far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts... Why did this game go like... It started off boring and it just becomes more and more boring, and now you talk about facts. I didn't come here to learn school stuff. I came here to play a game. I came here to date. Human instincts work independent of consciousness, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life and in particular ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. Very good. You clearly... Do you have good grades at school? I mean, if you had, you could get a good job. So why don't you have a good job? Why aren't you happy? I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia. Though my thoughts appeared, one by one, being stupid out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of the hero of some junky softcover crime fiction book. Please, girl, say something, so I don't need to think about school. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Ah, I love blue eyes, dude. Hi, you must have just arrived. I mean, I have to reply to be nice. Yeah. Alright then, welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange, it looked like as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. I should have returned here. The woods and fields seemed better. But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the inside. A little bit more and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. What's so funny about that? The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great then. Great. What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget about the bus behind me, the fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today. I want I want to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. Would you happen to know? You should go to a camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look, you go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed at the gates as if I knew what was behind them. Dmitrievna is a patronymic, a derivative of a person's father's name, in this case Dmitri, put by Russians after the person's first name as a sign of respect or formal address. Well, you can ask someone where Olga Dmitrievna's cabin is. I got it? Of course I didn't. Well, I got to go now. The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. It seemed as if to her I was something ordinary. And all this show with the bus and the travels while awake or asleep were troubling only to me, while everything here is just the way it is supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer uniform, what? Are they doing a historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing atop an armored car in this square. But even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, I headed into the camp. There we go! Now we're coming to the action here, I think. A mere 50 meters ahead, a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign near the door said, Clubs. I was about to come closer, when the door suddenly opened and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole of mankind with a truly universal sorrow. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do, to approach first or wait until she showed some initiative. Or maybe run away after all. Although this last option was constantly being suggested only by my self-preservation instinct. At least that's what I like to believe. Not the worst human instinct, but far from the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. Suddenly somebody jumped out of nearby bushes. A girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. No, it's CCCP. What are you talking about? Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance and was probably younger than both pioneer girls. The one at the gates and this girl at the door of the clubs. Yeah, she looks like underaged. At least I decided to come closer, but the USSR, as I called her in my mind, jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something wildly waving her arms. The other girl in turn seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I think she's a shy girl. I would have probably continued to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face. This something turned out to be a grasshopper. The first girl squealed. She must not be too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off towards the place where Lenin presumably made his speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. This is to say, towards the square. What was that? Just slowly sliding past the screen. The USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed her reality. I mean, everything around me seemed so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that in fact my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? Find Olga's cabin. Dmitrievna. I don't know how to say it, okay? And I don't remember what it was either. Dmitrievan. I don't know. I was picking at the cracked paving stones with my shoe and staring aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decisions. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass weeping. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all energy from whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. Mine seemed to have chosen the second option because out of the blue, I found the determination to figure out what was going on. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. Yeah, you had to act like a man, but still you was thinking about running just because you saw a girl? Oh no, a girl! I have to run. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they looked quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been a part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the younger October children. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks, wake-up call at 6 o'clock played by a siren, 1 minute to make your bed, then joining the formation at the drill square. Or wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Maybe. Suddenly something struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight, heroically for my life. But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. She's actually kind of cute though. Pick your jaw off the ground. I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked, let's say, provocative. Like all the girls I met there before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. It's just a tsundere, come on. That's my phone! Why you? Who's calling me? No one's calling me. It's an alarm. I don't know why it's an alarm, but hey, whatever. New here, are you? Fine. See ya. she's just really mad, and then she's like, "Oh, never mind. See ya." She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. She's actually kind of cute. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger or anger. I didn't see it. Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. Let's do this part and then we're gonna end for now. At last, I managed to make it to the square. There was no Lenin on an armored car, although one could easily expect something like that after all this had happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read Genda. Must be some big figure in the party. There were some small benches at the sides. It's quite pleasant here. Where did that girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. And why am I going there anyway? Ah, right, I decided to pretend to be normal, so to the right. No, it was actually to the left, but okay. Through a small grove, I came out at a pier. I must have taken the wrong turn. Hey, wrong way! I turned towards the voice. Oh my god, look, it's a bikini! The first girl stood before me. Now, what did I tell you? Take a left at the square, wasn't it? She had changed from a pioneer uniform into a bikini. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Slavia. Actually, my full name is Slaviana, but everyone calls me Slavia. So you can too. You know, you actually kind of remind me of a Tiffany because I played Honeypop, but I mean, it's just Tiffany can be your English name, so I'm probably gonna call you Tiffany with an accident someday. Yeah, I still felt a bit confused. I could not come up with more meaningful answers. And what's your name? It felt like she could see right through me. Semyon. Nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change and we'll go to Olga Dmitrieva together. Agreed? Agreed. After this exchange, she ran off. I sat on the pier and let my feet hang into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather there was nothing wrong in getting my feet wet. Furthermore, it let me cool myself a little. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that has happened. If this is some kind of conspiracy, it's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks more like a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in the pioneer uniform again. Let's go. I've been here for a very short time, but all of the people I met, she looks the least suspicious. However, this fact is already suspicious itself. We walked to the square. I think since this is the square, I mean, it's a good time to stop here, I guess. I don't know how long I've been playing. I mean, I've been reading a lot. And that's probably how it's going to be. This is going to be a reading series. It's going to be choices. It's going to be either horror or romantic or just, I don't know. It's going to be cute, I guess. Could be that. But anyway, next time I think we will be meeting two new characters. We'll be meeting Olga, and we'll be meeting Miku. If I do the right choices here, which I hope I do, because I kind of want to get together with Miku, but I think I'm already done something wrong, because maybe I should say no in the dream to go into the... You know, every single choice you make goes towards one girl. It doesn't go towards another, if you get what I'm saying. So there is something you need to not do, even though you're not happy with it, to get the girl you actually want to get with. So all the choices is like, I don't know, everything goes towards one girl, and it's just, it's hard to get to the girl you want to get to from the choices. But we'll see how that works out. Now I'm going to end it here. Hope you enjoyed. I hope I will see you again. This is kind of like the replacement of Dead Space. So this will be coming out on Wednesday instead of Dead Space. I mean, this video will come out today on Sunday, but because it's Sunday for me. And if I edit it fast enough and render it fast enough, and post it fast enough, it will be coming out today, Sunday. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be seeing you later. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, also, when you want to quit the game, this girl comes up. But I don't remember seeing her, but she's a cat girl, as you see her ears and her tail, and we saw the ears in the shadow when we were in the bus. So maybe there is some way to get her to appear, I guess. But yeah, she looks quite cute. And I have a thing for cat girls, you know. Anyway, that's it. See ya. Bye.